All right, what is up? It's, it's Kanye. I got it from a store. Finally came in like 4 or 5 months later, but here we are. Um, we're gonna do a quick video. This is not like a whole lot to talk about. Hold on, bro. Oh snap! One day this chair is gonna give out on me. Okay. Quick video. Couple things to talk about. Uh, Nothing really crazy. Just little things. I just really wanted to wear this for this video. I know it's been a minute, but you gotta understand I had a concussion, okay, and then before that I had COVID, and then right after towards the end of that concussion, while I still had it, I got a cold. So I mean I was still barely functioning, but like really what it was um like my face. My face was all bloated out, you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel good. I couldn't really talk. My voice sounded more nasally than it normally does. I'm not really worried about this. Well, no, I am, for sure. I'm not trying to be on here. It's hard enough for you to listen to me when I talk normal, right? So imagine how much harder that probably is to listen to when that's there like that. Okay, that's a no go. No go. All right. You got a couple of things. One, stuff is down, right? Crypto, stocks, all that stuff is down. Why is down? I mean, you could point to a plethora of things here. We really could go down the wire. Okay, we could talk about the government shutdown. The government shut down. Nobody knows what's going to happen. You can talk about. I'm pretty sure there's some tariff stuff out there too. Doom and gloom. And you could also say that pretty much everything is just overextended enough as it is. Which I think what you're getting right here. This is like a like 2-3% pullback on the SPY. Probably more than that. Like I said, I was out of it for a minute. Um, I'm kind of glad I was, because I mean I don't think that I would have switched up and like made any moves or anything like that, but nothing crazy. I was still trading throughout all this, but I couldn't tell you guys any of it. Close group of friends of mine, I told them they made the moves. They made the moves. They didn't. They didn't. I did. So one for one, we got to talk about Wolf, okay? Because Wolf secured a crazy. What is it? They got another deal from Google. Not another deal, but I guess it's another extension on their deal that they got added to that. By the way, that stock went up to, I think the highest I saw it peak at, I don't want to say 18, but I feel like I saw it at 18. I'll say 16 for sure, 17 maybe. Okay, but again, if you go back in these videos, I've talked about that thing since before. I think right at the beginning when we were getting on the memes. Think about it now, don't go back, okay? Because I was, I talked a little bit different than what I did now. Um, but yeah, so that Wolf stock was a $2 stock. Now we're talking about it in, I mean, it's $14 right now. Now we're talking about it $16, $18. $2 stock when I talked about it on here. And this is the perfect time to tell you that I am not your financial advisor. Nothing I say on here is an indication for you to buy or personally sell anything. All this really is documentation of my own trading journey. But that being said, there are other people here. And now that I say that, I don't know if you guys know. Well, you probably don't, but uh, it's a given. I'm pretty nerdy, right? But like, I like Star Trek, right? And it's not even like I like a lot of aspects about it, but the main thing is like Stardate, whatever time zone he says on there. So that's why at the beginning of my videos, I like to say the date. The funny thing is, I never remember the date and or time. I think today is November 6th. I always get it wrong. I think today is November 6th. And it's probably like, I don't know, 8:45, 8:30, maybe it's 9 o'clock here in Central Time. So, you know, right? So Wolf, talked about that. They secured some deal with Google. Then they went out and they got financing for um, through their convertible notes offering. The only thing you gotta know about that is whenever they do financing for that convertible notes financing, they're basically mortgaging their company, right? For the belief of their stuff will go higher. And the original thing was, one, we like Wolf because of the Bitcoin mining, which they still have Bitcoin and nobody wants to talk about. That's fine, because now they're trying to get into AI. That's cool too. Not just AI, but the infrastructure, the stuff that you're actually going to need when you actually start doing stuff, right? So they're blowing up off of that, the infrastructure deal or whatever. Anyway, when they give these note offerings, if you notice these companies that do it, because they're not the first ones, it's just like a new tool that companies on Wall Street start to do. And it used to be something that would get them in trouble, because if you do it with a if you get it, when you go and you get these things done, you have to have somebody that does the financing for the deal, right? So somebody has the rights to those shares. So the company that they did it for at the very beginning, before you even knew about it, before it was Wolf, before I even knew about it, it's a shady company. That's neither here nor there, and you can't really sue me for it. But again, like I always say, if you would like to go down that path, I highly doubt anybody's watching this video that would like to go down that path. But if you did, I'm just gonna say blue sheets, and that's going nowhere because nobody wants to provide blue sheets right now. If you don't know what blue sheets are, it's not really that important. Just know it's basically like show the receipts of who is buying and selling the stock, right? So there's a whole shebang going on Wall Street. I've talked about it a couple times before, but it is counterfeit shares, okay? And again, it's neither here nor there. Don't sue me. But if you did, again, blue sheets. The blue sheets is going to link the shares to shares, okay? So if there's 100 shares of a company, you pull out the blue sheets and you should be able to figure out, okay, these are 100 shares. This is who owns them. This is where they're at. Now, if you go, you look up the blue sheets, right? And you're supposed to have 100 shares and it ends up being 2,000 shares. Somebody's got some explaining to do, okay? And it's not me. So that's why whenever I say bring out the blue sheets, basically like, go read the tape type stuff. But again, that's why I'm big on crypto, okay? Because again, this issue in Wall Street right now, like it can't go on how it's going on, okay? You're hearing about stable coins and how banks can benefit from it. But eventually it's going to come knocking to that Wall Street door, okay? You got to understand that. And if you don't, that's cool. We're all going to be here waiting and watching, you know what I'm saying? Eventually we're going to see what's going to happen, right? But so on, it's a squeeze play, okay? And I can tell that this company knows that there's a squeeze play, and I think other people know, like big institutions know, because there's a lot of buying, okay? This whole time the SPY is getting rocked left and right, left and right. Wolf, I mean, you could say it's getting rocked, but again, $2 to $16 to $18, down now to 15. It's almost like a pattern, and the entire time it's going up. The company is doing these convertible note deals, okay? And like I said, you're not going to. It's been about 3 or 4 in the span of 2 months. That's a lot, and it's not small amounts. It's like $1 billion each time, like $1 billion worth each time. And what'll happen is it'll say it's trading at 15. Okay, it'll get, hey, we're gonna do convertible notes, and then it'll go from 15. It'll come down like $1 or two. So when that happens, that's when I have been going in. So I've had long year options out in Wolf. Started out at $4, okay? Then eventually changed those $4 into $10, okay? And what I've been doing is I'll sell off a little bit of the yearlies, okay? Whenever they have the offerings, or pretty much whenever I see opportunity. But for right now, the opportunity is this game. Whenever they do those offerings, I go ahead and I wait, until the thing is done, because sometimes I'll see it late. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm looking at other stuff. Okay, excuse me. So I'll come back and I'll see the news on it. And when I see the news on it, I look at the chart. The chart looks like it's doing a little reversal pattern. So what I do is I sell some of the yearlies, and I go by like maybe like 3 weeks out expiration, or a month out expiration, for like a $2 ahead of Wolf. Okay, and I've been running amok over there. Really have doing that. Okay, did that. BYND. I don't know if you saw, but apparently there was like a squeeze, and I missed that bad boy. So it went from like $1, $2, or cents. I think 50 cents is what it was at, to $7 or $8. I actually bought that at $6. Okay, and it was down. It probably took. Yeah, I lost a decent amount. Whatever I put in there, it was like 80% loss. Okay, because I was like, when you have plays like that, as long as the company doesn't do anything like a offering or anything like that, anything to dilute their shares, meaning like if you have 100 shares and they do something to where 100 shares now turns into 200 shares, the game is kind of over. Because if it's a short squeeze, they need shares to make the price stop from exploding, right? So they can cover their short. So when you get them stuck, and then you put an offering out there for double the float, yeah, they're not really, the prices, they're good, okay? They got their shares. They don't need the price isn't the demand, okay? A short squeeze is supply and demand. Whenever the supply is low enough, and the demand is higher than the supply significantly, That's when you start getting those price swings. That's how you got 50 cents to $7. Okay, and I think they had good news on top of that. But either way, so in that scenario, if you inflate the supply, you understand? That's your price. That's your price and your demand. It just went down when the supply went up. Okay, low supply, demand, price. Got that. And so yeah. So anyway, we took an L on that. Another thing I did. Okay, so the Tesla. So here's the thing. Elon Musk had his little. So he's basically gonna get $1 trillion care package. Okay, and I didn't make a video, but I would. Like I said, if I would have been feeling as good as I feel right now, I would have had a video out there talking about, okay, I'm gonna take a position in Tesla, because they had beat him down because Norway is. I'm sorry, I'm going 50 miles an hour. It's been a minute since I talked to y'all. That could have been a ghost. I look calm, but I'm really scared. It's just hilarious because I watch those movies all the time. So what had happened was Elon Musk, the company wants to give him like a care package to get him more involved in the company because, I mean, it's Elon, and the only reason why their stuff is up like that is because it's Elon, right? You could say a whole bunch of things. We can debate. I'm not really actually a debating person like that. It's just what it is. It's Elon. People like Elon. He's got a cult-like following. Again, that links to the memes. Why did I pick the ones I picked? Elon, Kanye, cult-like following. Okay, and this is what I mean. So there's basically through incentives, they wanted to give him $1 trillion worth of stock on top of the money he already has, right? But he only gets the stock if he beats his incentives. Now, what the incentives are, people argue that are they hard, are they not? I don't care about any of that. I just know one thing. If they did not get him that care package, that means that he would not be involved in that company as much as he is. And you take Elon off of that company, you take Elon off of any company that's like already producing, and the price is going to, I don't want to say, no, your price is going to drop dramatically for sure, 100%. Now, what I thought was, okay, so there's uncertainty in Tesla because of that. So when they go and they do approve it, right? Let's say that the shareholders voted yes, and let's give Elon an extra trillion on top of the trillion that he's about to have. So he's going to be worth $2 trillion pretty soon. Then the price would go up, right? Because then there's no uncertainty. So they get approved, right? They get approved today, and the price in after hours doesn't reflect what I thought was going to happen. I mean, it's not down, but it's not up. It's up like 1%, right? So we got to see. I still think that tomorrow's Friday. We've been red like the past 2 or 3 Fridays. I'm thinking that you're going to get a switch up. Plus, everything has been dragged down, okay? So that's a play on Tesla right there. We're going to leak into everything else looks good on the stock wise, okay? I'm not personally looking to buy anything over there right now. I mean, I'm pretty good with everything I got. Everything is still the same besides that Tesla play, because I did sell some yearlies. I went and, because if they voted no, I'm not going to sit there and, lose whatever percentage I am. Tesla is a big percentage of my portfolio, long term, like yearly. So, I took a lot of that off the table, but I still had exposure. So I went and sold my yearlies, right? And then I bought some. I actually bought some that expired tomorrow. I think there were 460s or 450, 455, 460, 455, something like that. Okay, but the price is up at 450 right now. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But either way, like lose or win on that, the exposure is off the table, and I'm gonna go back in tomorrow and get my yearly positions back in Tesla. Because with him back on board, regardless if it's a huge bump right now, you give them about a year, and like I said, it's gonna be on like popcorn. It's gonna be on like popcorn. If you want to turn this off now, you can. So, so on the crypto, okay, everything looks fine. Like I said, in stocks, everything's good. If you want to go buy something, this is the time I would buy something. When it is red like this is when those people with a whole lot of money that have been here for a minute, or just smart people, this is when they buy stuff. They don't panic really. They buy stuff because nothing has changed. Nothing's going crazy. If you think that the government's going to be shut down forever, you're more inclined to believe that. We could talk about that, but we're not. Maybe I'll make a video tomorrow about that stuff. That's another thing too. There's not been really a bunch to talk to you guys about. Like if there was something crazy, I'd be like, You know, Bitcoin being down at 100 grand. That's what we're gonna talk about. Crypto. Um, you could be panicky if you want. I'm not really worried about it. Like it does from a chart perspective, it looks like it can go lower. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if this thing goes down to 80, 70 grand, I'm still gonna be chilling in everything that I have. Okay, and then what I'm gonna be doing is the same thing that I just told you other people do with the stock market when it's down like that, when nothing has changed. I'd be buying more. Okay. And now, oh, are you talking about the memes? With the memes, I don't want to say I'm over with them because I'm still there. Okay. Everything that I have and I believed in is still there. And I know what I know. Okay. Just one of those feelings. I don't have anything invested in memes, especially that I'm not worried. If that thing could go to zero and I'm just chilling, still doing the same thing I'm normally doing. Okay. I'm not selling some and moving some over here and trying to save, nickel and diamond. You don't do that, bro. It's a meme. That's why you only put what you're willing to lose over there, okay? Because each time you do the buying and selling, one, taxes. I don't know how much money you have over there, but those are called wash trades. Like after a while, you buying and selling the same thing, those are washes, okay? I don't know your tax code, and I'm not your financial advisor, so you're gonna have to figure that out on your own. You got a whole Google AI assistant on your phone now, so it's no excuses. No excuses not to really know how to do much of anything nowadays. Besides cooking, cooking's tough. Um, So okay, meme wise, like they said, they still look good. My money's still over there. Oh yeah, but I'm not going to. Oh, I'm let me go add to this. I'm not adding to anything. Nothing over there. I'm adding to stocks and crypto, if anything. So I'm telling you that I'm not buying stocks. Okay, so it's only going to be crypto if that goes lower. Mainly XRP. Okay, so we talked about Evernorth, right? You guys, I thought it felt like something was behind me. I was talking all that smack. Um, So you get your Evernorth news with XRP. Yesterday they got a deal with Mastercard. All credit card transactions will be, or certain credit card. I still got to read it. Sell it in RLUSD, which is Ripple's stablecoin that they made. The main thing here, they had a deal. They had an acquisition that they got into yesterday. Don't care or know what it was, but the people that help with the financing. Okay, that when I say help with the financing, I believe that they would gain, if this succeeded, and I believe that they would lose if it didn't succeed. Only name you need to know, there's two people. One of them was Citadel. Citadel head is Ken Griffin. Ken Griffin is Wall Street. Okay, he is big bad. Um, Anytime you probably lost money, he probably had something to do with it. And I don't want to say that because that's the one guy. You know what I'm saying? I'll say go get blue sheets, but they move, I'm telling you, like trillions of dollars, like more than countries, more than a significant amount of countries. And then they have power, okay? Because before the whole AMC GameStop stuff, they wanted him to be like treasurer, secretary, or whatever they call that, whatever the bank guy that they move into the White House whenever somebody just now gets in there. Yeah, they wanted him to be in one of those roles. Okay, so yeah, he didn't get that role, but you better believe he still has connections. Okay, so when all that GameStop, AMC stuff went down, he didn't get touched, man. And again, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not Ken Griffin, leave me alone. He's just big bad. But what I want to tell you about that, don't be scared, okay? Because if he's into this, they only deal with money, and it's not like, oh, a little bit of money. No, 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 no. Like knock him out the park, home run, lots of money. Okay, Citadel, big prestigious name. Anybody doing business with them, um, it's just scary business. Okay, I want to say it's kind of like I don't know. No, I'm not gonna. I was gonna say like a cartel type of thing, but I have no idea about cartels. But I'm telling you, they're like it's a ring of people on that side of the ball, and that is the quarterback in that ring on that side of the ball. Okay, and they want to invest into Ripple before they're even producing or making any money, before anything has even happened. The rules still haven't been published yet, all that stuff, and they're going to take part in that. So notice that, right? So there's your update. It's long enough, bro. I missed. Yeah, I don't want to say I missed you guys. I didn't, but I did miss coming down here and making these videos, man. But like I said, I was all blown up. But hey, there's your update. Yeah, I owe you one, so I'm gonna be back a couple times this week. Hopefully with some plays, hopefully with some news. But I'm feeling like we're about to get this ball rolling. Okay, something's gonna pop. All right, be easy. I'm out of here.